If residents choose to still have gas regulators installed outside their home, they can still get them. They're just going to have to give written permission to get them installed. A Baltimore shelter is providing women with much more than just housing. Coming up, I'm Erin Burnett. I'll tell you how they're making women feel beautiful. A lot of confusion over the matter and a lot of differing opinions, but today's hearing is meant to kind of get everyone on the same page. You see here, the front of the jersey is full of signatures, but the back, it's blank. Shaw hopes to fill it with all of the signatures of the current members of the team. You can see here behind me, fire crews and demolition crews are tearing down the back half of the building and spraying for hot spots. Currently, police are saying that they have a male suspect in their custody and that the fire is being classified as an arson. Monday night storm caused extensive damage to homes like the ones behind me. Here, crews are removing the tree that fell on this house right here in the roof. The homeowner tells us that she was home at the time and it sounded like lightning hit her house.
PGPD, you coming out or we coming in? Make up your mind.
From the moment Prince George's County Police stepped through the doors of Erica Umana and her 3 roommates.
I don't need a warrant, we got probable cause.
Maintenance, open the door. You take that issue with them.
Their lawyer, Malcolm Ruff, says those officers violated their 4th Amendment rights.
The 4th Amendment is very clear that the government shall not have the right to intrude on somebody's home unless they have a warrant or a clear exception to the warrant requirement.
In 2021, 3 Prince George's County officers were called to the apartment of these 4 roommates regarding a dog biting incident.
I'm about to put your handcuffs so you don't stop.
But Ruff says how they responded to the call was far from legal, entering their home without a warrant and attempting to arrest Umana. As seen on body camera footage here, the roommates were pushed by officers, slammed to the floor and into the counters, and even had a taser pointed at them. And ultimately, when officers came in contact with the dog, they shot him in the back twice and tasered him, leaving their dog, Hennessy, paralyzed. His injuries eventually forcing his owners to put him down.
They have PTSD, depression, anxiety, sleeplessness, all kinds of horrific negative mental health effects.
This is why they have filed a $16 million lawsuit against the Prince George's County Police Department.
To send a message to other police officers that this type of malicious, unconscionable behavior, this brazen brutality, will not be stood for. This has changed them for life. They will never be the same. They will never view life the same way, and that is an utter tragedy.
Prince George's County Police have not returned our requests for comment. Attorney Malcolm Ruff says the incident is not isolated. He claims the department condones allowing officers to commit similar violations.
It's selfish.
D.C. resident Ariel Oros agrees drivers in D.C. are out of control.
There's not a lot of respect for the law anymore, so when you get in a car accident, you don't know if that person's gonna run away.
That's exactly what happened to him right here on Monroe Street in Northeast DC last year. Another car hit him after jumping the light.
I mean, there's some people who clearly don't read the signs. They don't pay attention to the yellows, to the yellow lights from the stoplights. And so I think if there was more accountability.
And accountability is exactly what DC council members want, proposing 4 new bills that would strengthen traffic laws in the district to protect drivers and pedestrians, even when you think you're taking precautions. Metropolitan Police say traffic fatalities in the district are already up 35% over last year's total number. To help fix the problem, DC lawmakers are sharpening the tools they already have in place.
25-mile-per-hour speed limit camera ahead.
Adding points to drivers' licenses after a certain number of moving violations, whether the tickets are paid or not, and even suspending those licenses for drivers who rack up enough points. The bills also propose to immediately suspend a driver's license after being charged with a DUI or negligent homicide, strengthen laws against drivers with fake, stolen, or obscured tags, and even pursue civil suits against the most reckless offenders. And even if you're not a DC resident, these new laws would apply to you too, as punishments like license points are specifically designed to hold visiting drivers from Maryland and Virginia accountable in their home states. Ultimately, by holding drivers responsible, Oros believes these new bills could change that.
So I think if there was a way to take away their licenses or remove their points, that way they feel like if I don't do the right thing, there's something I can lose. I think that would increase the probability of better accountability and therefore better driving.
Now, here's the irony. Even as the city gets ready to enforce tougher laws, a recent survey just named DC drivers among the 10 best in the country, which is really hard to believe. Guilty on all counts. That's what a jury of 12 people decided today around 4 p.m. in the case of Marilyn Mosby's perjury trial. Now, this case was supposed to last until Thanksgiving, but it's coming to an end today. Jurors got the case late Wednesday evening after a dramatic day of closing arguments that lasted almost 3 hours. The trial comes after Marilyn Mosby allegedly lied about whether she was qualified to withdraw $90,000 from her city retirement account in 2020. Mosby and her defense attorneys say she was qualified to make the withdrawal under the CARES Act bill, a bill specifically designed to give Americans relief during the pandemic, allowing them to access money from their retirement accounts if they've suffered a financial hardship because of the pandemic. Mosby said she took a financial hit because her travel business, Mahogany Elite, had suffered a loss. Prosecutors say Mosby lied, citing that the company wasn't even operating at the time of her application and that she had no customers and no revenue, that instead she used the money to buy 2 vacation properties in Florida that she turned into rental homes. The defense insists that what she did was completely legal, saying that they only have evidence of a mother doing the best she can for her family. In terms of the perjury charges she was found guilty on, she could face a maximum of 10 years in prison, but no sentencing hearing has been set yet. She also has to deal with another trial coming up on 2 more counts of mortgage fraud. What started out as regular Orioles memorabilia has become a way for Bill Shaw to show his lifelong love for the team.
Originally, the jersey was just signed by Rick Dempsey. It says Rick Dempsey, 1983 World Series MVP.
Shaw takes the jersey to Orioles card shows, alumni events, spring trainings, and up to any player he sees in person in this leather briefcase, turning one signature into 281.
Earl Weaver is the second row above the S. So if we go to the S, for every name on here you've heard of, there's probably 50 that you haven't. But I have like 5 or 6 guys on here from the 1954 team,
including legends like Bill Ripken, Cal Ripken Jr., and Eddie Murray. But his favorite part?
Seeing the players' reaction to it, and then other fans in line that are waiting to get something signed. They always want to take pictures of it, and they always ask me if they can take pictures of it, and I say yes, and then they ask me if they can wear it, and I say no.
And the answer to the question everyone's thinking, no, it's not for sale.
You know, when I'm no longer here, you know, my son will have this, and I would like him to even continue it. To me, it'll never be finished unless I decide to tell my son I want to be buried in it. So.
You see here, the front of the jersey is full of signatures, but the back, it's blank. Shaw hopes to fill it with all of the signatures of the current members of the team. From Camden Yards, I'm Erin Burnett. Americans as targets, a frightening warning from the State Department you don't want to miss. I'm Erin Burnett. A short-term truce deal between Hamas and Israeli forces has allowed for the release of dozens of hostages. Today, a total of 8 hostages split between 2 separate groups were released by Hamas, and 169 Palestinian children have been released from Israel this week. The man who allegedly gunned down a Maryland Circuit Court judge was found dead this morning. Pedro Argote's body was found deep in the woods of Williamsport, Maryland, about a mile from where his vehicle was found a week ago. This afternoon, a jury convicted Paul Pelosi's attacker with federal charges of kidnapping and assault. David DePape admitted during court that he broke into former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home in an attempt to hold her hostage. And lawmakers want you to know that DC streets aren't the Wild Wild West. What new penalties dangerous drivers may face in the district. I'll have the details after the break. Today is Travel Tuesday, and airlines also are trying to cash in on your spending. Avery Newport is at BWI Airport with tips on how to save if you're traveling. Not sure about the goats. I don't know if that was a typo or what, but I'm here for it.
You never know who needs a goat, you know.
Well, you know, I'm from Baltimore, so I'm gonna rep the Ravens any chance I get. Jada Pinkett Smith is off Instagram and back in her hometown today, talking to students at her alma mater, Baltimore School for the Arts. A glimpse of hope for those of you who didn't get to see the great Chinese pandas. Yesterday, Chinese President Xi Jinping sat with many U.S. business leaders at a dinner in San Francisco. He hinted at the possibility that the pandas could soon return to the U.S. We know there's people out there who are going to be like, what if I look up anyways? But experts want us to re-emphasize, don't look up at the sun this Saturday without protection. Speaking of protection, I brought these glasses back from NASA. So looking into the eclipse is the same as looking into the sun on a really sunny day. So without these, it can hurt your eyes and could cause eye damage. So don't do it. If it rains though, unfortunately, the clouds will block the eclipse, but it's good to be prepared just in case. What do you think? New fashion statement?
Lives prepared.
Cannot see a thing.
Can't see anything.